Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha. At first, I offer my humble prayers in the lotus feet of Lord Shri Radha Krishna. I also extend warm greetings and respect to all of you. Today, from the scripture UDDHAV GITA, the last message of Lord Shri Krishna, we will be listening chapter 19, where Lord Shri Krishna is instructing his dear friend and devotee UDDHAVji about the SANKHYA system. The holy words from the scripture are as follows. The Lord said, "Now I shall tell you about the SANKHYA system propounded by the Asians, knowing which a man can immediately give up the error caused by seeing of multiplicity. Before the origin of the yugas, the knower and the entire objective universe were verily one and homogeneous. The same was the case in Satya Yuga, at the beginning of the cycle when people were skilled in discrimination. That absolute and homogeneous reality, the Brahman, which transcends mind and speech, became split into two, the objective world and thinking subject. Of these two things, one is Prakriti, which has a dual nature, and the other knowledge, absolute, which is called Purusha. From the Prakriti, as I agitated it, there emanated the gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, with the approval of the Purusha. From them emanated the Sutra, with which the Mahat is united. From the transformation of that was produced egoism, which dilutes all. Egoism is threefold, Sattvika, Rajas and Tamasa, which are respectively the cause of the mind, the organs and the fine particles of matters. It is both sentient and insentient. From the tamas aspect of egoism, there emanated the five elements. From the rajas aspect of the organs, and from sattvika aspects, the 11 gods and the mind. Directed by me, all these things acting together made up an oval structure which was an excellent abode for me. In that oval structure floating in water I dwelt. From my navel grew a lotus epitomizing the world, and there the self-born Brahma manifested himself. With my grace he, the universal soul endowed with activity, projected through heart reflection the three sphere, Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, together with their rulers. The Swar became the abode of the gods, and the Bhuva that of the spirits, and the earth that of a man, and the spheres beyond the Swar the abode of the Siddhas. The Lord Brahma made the regions below the earth an abode of the Asuras and Nagas. Works characterized by the three gunas led to the three spheres. Yoga, asceticism and renunciation led to the pure spheres of Mahar, Jana, Tapas and Satya. But Bhakti Yoga leads to my abode. Whatever things come into being, minute or vast, thin or stout, all partake of the two principles, Purusha and Prakriti. That from which a thing originates and into which it dissolves abides also in the intermediate stage. That alone is real. The modifications have a mere phenomenal existence, as in the case of metallic and earthen wares. That using which a material and antecedent state produces a consequent one is alone the reality. A state from which another state originates and into which it dissolved is also relatively called real. Prakriti, which is the material cause of this manifested universe, Purusha, which is its substratum, and time, which is a factor in its manifestation, all these three verily am I, the Brahman. Projection in its varied form goes on for the experience of the soul through an unbroken succession of causes and effects until the term of continuance of the world is over, according to the will of the Lord. Then the universe, which pervaded by me is the sense of the births and deaths of multifarious creatures, is together with the spheres ready for the state called dissolution. Thus the bodies of animals are dissolved into food, food into seeds, seeds into earth, and earth into order. Order dissolved into water, water into its own essence, sap, sap into fire, and fire into color. Color dissolves into air, air into touch, touch into ether, and ether into sound particles. The organs are dissolved into their efficient causes, the gods. The gods, my friend, are dissolved into the mind, which rules over all, and the mind into sattvika egoism. Sound is dissolved into tamas egoism, and all-powerful egoism into the cosmic intelligence. That cosmic intelligence endowed with the noblest qualities dissolved into its own causes, the gunas into Prakriti, and that again into eternal time. Time is dissolved into the omniscient being, that being again into me, the birthless Atman. The Atman which is inferred from the projection and dissolution of the universe is absolute and rests on itself. How can delusions caused by the seeing of the differences rise in the mind or stay in the heart of a man who reasons in this way, like darkness in the sky at sunrise? Here in both a direct and an inverse order, I have described the Sankhya system, which breaks the knot of doubt. I am the witness of the high and the low. Thus concludes Chapter 19 from the scripture Uddhav Gita, where Lord Shri Krishna has instructed his dear friend and devotee Uddhavji about the Sankhya system. Thank you for listening. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha.